What is going on, good people of YouTube? It's me, Chavez, back with another Prizepicks video for you. Today is Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023, and we got two NBA playoff games to talk about. As always, I hope this video finds you all doing well and in good spirits. We'll kick things off with a quick recap over yesterday's plays, and then we'll transition over to the Prizepicks board and talk about 4-player props that I like and tell you a little bit about why I like them as well. So, if you like the way that sounds, stick around, drop a like, drop a sub, click the notification icon to get notified of all upcoming content and videos from me and my channel. And without further delay, let us jump into those plays from yesterday. All right, another 2-in-1 day. So back-to-back 2-in-1 days, 4-2 overall, or 4-2 over the last 2 days. And actually, we went 6-1 yesterday in total plays, 4-0 in member plays, and 2-1 in video plays. Durant being the only prop that didn't come through for us. The Durantula bit us yesterday. Couldn't buy a shot, couldn't hit a shot. Man, he ended up going over first half fantasy points. A lot of us over in the Discord, by the way. Player Prop Discord, brand new, over 240 members already. Check the description below for the link to join. 100% free. Come on over and have a little fun with us. A lot of us took the over on his first half fantasy points, and he did it with basically no scoring. It was the weirdest stat line. Hopefully, that's the worst performance we'll see from him all series, because I have full intention on going back to his point prop next game. So, the props that did work for us: Tobias Harris over 16.5 points, and then we had the Marcus Smart PRA, which was a very, very fun sweat to see him kind of turn it on in the second half. If you tell that play, I'm sure a lot of you were kind of gritting your teeth and maybe pounding your fist, thinking, why did I take this prop? And then he ends up hitting it, right? Yeah, me too. So 2-1 on the day, 6-1 overall. Let's transition back to the Prizepicks board, and let's start talking about these player props that I like for today. All right, heading back to the Prizepicks board, let's just jump into these plays. I want to get them done and get this video out to you. So let's start off with a rebounds and assist prop. I want to talk about Jalen Brunson. 10 rebounds and assists, too low. I like the over on this one. We're heading over to props.cash. We're going to break this one down. All right, let's start with Jalen Brunson's playoff game log. We can see that in the playoffs so far, he's hit this line 4 out of 6 times. Gone over it, gone well over it. Now versus Miami, this is, another thing to feel good about. 3 meetings with Miami. In 3 meetings prior to this playoff game, this last playoff game, he hit this prop 2 times. So overall, 3 out of 4 games versus Miami, he's gone over, with one of those games being a playoff game, and then 4 in the playoffs in general. We can see that he's cleared this line 4 out of 6 games. So those are 2 very strong positives. Now, a couple other facts that I want to throw out there, or maybe not facts, but just a couple other points that I want to make. Number 1, in the event Butler is out today, that only shortens the Miami rotation, right? So it's going to give Brunson lots of opportunities on the court versus second unit guys. Now, those guys are pretty good, but they're not good like Brunson good. So I think that Brunson can take advantage of that. And I think he is going to be provided additional opportunities with guys not named Jimmy Butler on him. If Jimmy Butler is playing today, then I still have confidence in this prop, because he hit it last game when Jimmy Butler was in the game. So Brunson is something that I like to call lineup proof, matchup proof. He's just going to find a way to contribute across the board. So speaking of, being proof, lineup proof, okay, let's talk about Randall being in or out the lineup. With him in, doesn't matter, because Brunson is still taking his shots. He's still getting his boards. He's still getting his assists. Doesn't matter if Randall's in or out. You want to take a look at that? We can. If you don't believe me, we can definitely take a look at that. So let's look at this. 1 game with Randall out, Brunson goes for 12, right? Let's say overall the last 10 games. You got to go back to last season. That doesn't really count. But let's look at these 3 games. Randall off the floor. This is Brunson's production with Randall off the floor. Doesn't matter if Randall's in or out. So it doesn't hurt Brunson at all. So don't be scared off by potential, or probability that Randall plays today. I like the prop. I'm going with the over. I think it's too low. It's sitting at a nice flat number. I love taking the flat numbers because it gives us the insurance for that possible push should he not go over. So give me that 10.0 rebounds and assists over for Jalen Brunson. All right, sticking in the same game, I want to talk about a first half fantasy score for Mitchell Robinson, 15.5. I like the over on this one. We're heading over to props.cash. We are going to break this one down. Actually, no. We're going to stay right here real quick. So I just want to show you something real quick. Not game log watching here, but did you know that Mitchell Robinson has been this productive in the first half over the last 5 playoff games? Did you know that he crushed his fantasy score versus Miami in the first half? I didn't, because I was focused on Barrett and Brunson. So just wanted to show you that real quick. Now we're going to head on over to props.cash and break this one down. All right, so looking at Mitchell Robinson during the playoffs, we already saw his fantasy production in those games, and it looks all good. But we need to figure out why this is happening, or what's supporting this, like what's helping this happen. So let's look at his minutes, because that's the big one right there. So let's filter this out first half. So minutes split between Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson. Now, I was under the belief that Hartenstein was cutting massively into his production. And then when I looked at the minutes, I realized that Mitchell Robinson is getting 15 to 16 minutes in the first half. Compare that to the minutes that Isaiah Hartenstein is getting in the first half. He's getting half of those minutes. Mitchell Robinson is also seeing roughly 8 to 9 minutes. Or excuse me, let's start with Hartenstein. Hartenstein's only seeing 3, maybe 4 minutes in the first quarter, where we see Mitchell Robinson getting 8 to 9 minutes in the first quarter. My point is that even though they're splitting time, Mitchell Robinson is still dominating the minutes in the first half, and that's where a lot of his production is coming. So we like the over on his first half fantasy points. How do we see this playing out? Well, it has to be a very similar stat line to what he did against Miami in game 1. 4 points, 5 to 6 rebounds, maybe an assist, 1 to 2 blocks. That's a pretty typical stat line for Mitchell Robinson. I think he gets it done against a smaller front court. Bam Adebayo is just too small. He's not strong enough to keep up and defend the paint against Robinson. We saw it in game 1. I think it happens again in game 2. Give me the over 15.5 first half fantasy score for Mitchell Robinson. All right, and for our third player prop on the board, I wish they would update this dude's photo. Man, it's been so long since he was a part of the Celtics. It's crazy. Just Photoshop the damn jersey. So I want to talk about Dennis Schroeder's points, 7.0. I like the over on this one. You may think I'm crazy for this one. You were like, oh, Mitchell Robinson, first half, what? That's crazy. And then you were like, damn, Dennis Schroeder now? This guy's crazy. I am crazy. Let's talk about it over on props.cash. All right, we're going to keep this breakdown very brief. Now, I just want to preface this by saying, if you focus on the past game logs only, you're losing out. Keep in mind, brand new playoff series. So here's what I'm boiling this down to. A new series means finding new game theories. Due to the matchups, circumstances, and the personnel, it changes everything. This is not the Memphis series anymore. This is a different matchup for the Lakers. As you get deeper into the playoffs, you must be able to depend on your bench scoring. We saw what happened in Phoenix yesterday. They got nothing coming off the bench because they traded everybody for Kevin Durant. And when Kevin Durant has a bad game, there's nobody coming off the bench to spit fire. There's no Dylon coming off the bench to spit fire. So if you don't have a deep bench or a good bench, you're not going far in the playoffs. You're just not. And so I think this is a series where we see Dennis Schroeder more involved. I think he's due for a double-digit performance tonight. So I'm rolling with it. I'm coming hot out the gate and saying that he's giving us 10 points tonight. He's due. So get that out the way. Let's talk about facts. So positive history here versus Golden State. In 3 meetings versus Golden State this season, Schroeder's gone over this point prop every single time. Now his point prop is set to 7 on PropStock or Prizepicks. Will change it here. It doesn't matter. He's over in those games anyway. He's clearing it. So the biggest difference is his minutes in the playoffs versus minutes in the regular season. They're a little bit down in the playoffs, but 7 points It's not that many points. He's gonna start the second quarter, so he usually comes in 5-6 minute mark of the first quarter, 7 minute mark of the first quarter. He'll play that, and then he'll start the second quarter, and then he'll be on the floor with guys like Jordan Poole, Dante DiVincenzo, Gary Payton II. Say what you want about him being like the mitten, the baby glove. That dude is a negative on the floor over the last 3 games versus the Sacramento Kings. There was one game he was negative. He was minus 16 when he was on the floor. I'm not worried about anybody coming off the bench for the Golden State Warriors. I think Schroeder can get 7 points for us today. I want him to get 10 points. I think he's due, but I'll settle for the 8 points and call it a day. So those are some reasons that I like Dennis Schroeder today over 7 points versus the Golden State Warriors. Last player prop on the board, sticking with the Los Angeles Lakers. I want to talk about D'Angelo Russell over 29 fantasy score. I like the over. I'm going to tell you why on props.cash. Let's go. All right, so again, we got another flat number here. I love these flat numbers. 10 rebounds and assists for Brunson, 7 points for Schroeder, 29 fantasy points for D'Angelo Russell. So always love the insurance of the push. As long as the data supports the over, I like taking that. So let's look at, actually, I hate to do this, but we're going back to Prizepicks real quick. Let's just look at these last 5 games. D'Angelo Russell, over his last 5 games, he's gone over this prop 3 out of those 5 games. I bring this up because these are relevant games, very important playoff games where he's involved. So look at the end of the 5 games here where he started getting hot. He was in a little slump. He broke out of his slump, and he broke out in a big way. And I think he carries that momentum over into this Golden State series. All right, let's go back to props.cash. So aside from the 5-game log that looks really good, I have confidence in this prop because after seeing what some of these guards did against the Warriors, over on the Sacramento side, Monk, Fox, Davis, Mitchell. I mean, these guys are putting in work, scoring very easily at times, being active, grabbing rebounds, dishing assists with like 0 resistance. And I just think that D'Angelo Russell's in a good spot this series. It should be a very fast-paced game, a lot of shooting, a lot of back and forth, and I think we see, more of a shootout pace in this game. I think we do see a shootout pace in this game, which opens up the scoring. It opens up the rebound opportunities, obviously the assist opportunities, and the faster you play, probably the more turnovers you're going to see. So maybe D'Angelo Russell gets his hands on a few of those turnovers to bolster his fantasy production. So speaking of fantasy production, I do want to talk about his fantasy points per minute. Found this information over on RotoCurve. You can find fantasy points per minute on in a few different areas, but I like using RotoCurve. So looking at his fantasy points per minute, 0.997 fantasy points per minute. Now, if D'Angelo Russell plays 30 plus minutes today, which he should, that puts him over 30 fantasy points. And then the only thing we need to cross our fingers for is that he's not turning the ball over 5-6 times. I mean, he's good for 2 turnovers a game. If he gets you a block and steal, you're still +1 in that category. I just think 29 points is too low versus a Golden State team that is not good defensively and, just didn't really show otherwise in the Sacramento series, allowing those guards to kind of do what they wanted at times. So give me the over. I think this is probably the lowest we'll see his fantasy score in this series, 29.0. Might get bumped up to 29.5 later on today. I'm taking it right now before the bump. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's recap our plays we talked about in this video. We got Brunson over rebounds and assists, Robinson over 15.5 first half fantasy score, Dennis Schroeder over 7 points, and then D'Angelo Russell over 29 fantasy score. And that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel, checking this video out. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you like on the board today, as well as what you think about these player props that we talked about in today's video. As always, thank you all so much for the support, the likes, the subs, the comments. It really does mean a ton to me, and I'm not just saying that. It's not something that I rehearse to say at the end of each video. Just look at the statistics. Every day, this channel gets bigger. We add new subs. The videos get better. The likes grow. The comments grow. It's because of you. So these are facts that I'm spitting out. I'm spitting knowledge and truth when I say all those things. So again, thank you all so much. Be sure to check out the description for Discord link. Player Prop Discord is up and running. We got over 240 members. This thing has only been up and running for 3 days. Fantastic support. Thank you all. Thank you all who have already joined the Discord. Click the link, verify you're a human, read some rules, and then you're in. Have some fun, talk some player props with some good people over in the Discord. Best of luck to you all tonight. And if you tail any of these plays, drop a comment letting me know. And until tomorrow's NBA playoff prize pick player prop video, Chavez is